Okay, so hello guys. I hope you're having a good day because we are on our second to the last chapter for finals. Patapos na tayo. So, nasa nanotechnology na tayo. One more last chapter and then we're done. Let's start with nanotechnology or the manipulation of matter. Okay, so what is nanotechnology? First, let me define what is nanotechnology. So, nanotechnology is the term given to those areas of science and engineering where phenomena that take place at dimensions in the nanometer scales are utilized in the design, characterization, production, and application of materials, structures, devices, and systems. So, if you are familiar with the technology used in, or if you are a fan of Marvel, di ba, alam niyo yung technology ginagamit ni Iron Man doon to activate his suit using his art reactor. So, that is nanotechnology. Okay, ano nga ba yung nanotechnology? So, these are the technologies that are being done or that were designed to be in the size of a nanometer. Okay, kaya siya nanotechnology kasi it is a technology that is in nanometer scale. So, ganun kaliit. Nanometer. Hindi lang siya centimeter, hindi lang siya meter. Nanometer siya. Okay, so maliliit to. Okay? So, what are the societal impacts of this technology? So, these new technologies are easy to identify but hard to measure or predict. Nanotechnology will have significant social impacts in the areas of number one, military applications. Okay, so we will talk about these impacts one by one later on. Another is intellectual property issues, as always, di ba? In the previous studies that we have, lahat ng technology has its own intellectual property issues because someone and or somebody owned them, or the patent, the model, or the skill that was used, someone designed them. So, syempre, they were protecting some intellectual issues or intellectual property issues. So, having an effect on labor. Ano yung effect ng nanotechnology and the labor of our employees? Okay? So, balance between citizens and government. Okay? So, let's talk about those one by one. Let's move with military applications. Okay, so the main aim of military research into nanotechnology are to improve medical and casualty care for soldiers and to produce lightweight, strong, and multifunctional materials to use in clothing, both for protection and to provide enhanced connectivity. Okay, so imagine, anong itsura ng armor ng mga soldiers during the old times? Okay, during the times of the kings and the queens, okay, during the times that ang gamit pa lang ay crossbow and arrow, 'di ba? So, paano ang itsura ng kanilang armor? They use metal armors, 'di ba? Ang bigat. And imagine, how could they move during the battle if they are wearing those kind of metal armor? 'Di ba ang bigat? Parang ang hirap gumalaw. Isang lakad mo lang 1 kilo or more, 'di ba? Yung buong metal armor ng paa, isang tapak mo pa lang or isang yapak mo pa lang, 1 kilo or 2 kilo, 3 kilo na yung bigat. 'Di ba? So, how are you going to swing the sword kung gano'ng kung gano'ng kabigat yung armor mo, 'di ba? So, let's think the military technology of today. We do not use those kind of armor na, 'di ba? Anong gamit natin? Lightweight vests. Okay? So, for example, bulletproof vest. Di ba hindi na siya gano'ng kabigat? If you're going to wear a bulletproof vest, hindi ka na it doesn't feel like you're wearing something heavy or something that can protect you from bullets. Let's say yes, compared to a bulletproof vest are heavier. But we can say that this bulletproof vest is not heavier than those traditional metal armor that were used by the soldiers during the ancient times, di ba? So this bulletproof vest, you can even wear on top of it a clothing or a normal clothing or a normal uniform in the military, di ba? Because saan ba gawa itong military vest na to? Sa nanofabrics. Okay? Sa mga nanofibers. It was made of several layers of nanofibers. So yes, bullet can still traverse it, But, it will not traverse your skin. Tatagos pa rin siya sa bulletproof. Pero hindi na siya tatagos sa balat mo. And, you will still feel the impact of the bullet. So, magkakaroon ka pa rin ng pasa. Imagine kasi, di ba, how fast the bullet is, or gaano kabigat ang bullet, or gaano kasakit yun pag tumama sa skin mo, di ba? So, you can still feel the bullet. There will still impact during those kind of shootings. So, magkakapasa ka pa rin. But, at least, di ba, you will not damage internal organs or ruin internal organs or suffer internal bleeding or hemorrhage because of the bullet getting inside your body. Di ba? Okay? So, medical applications then. Okay, so we have several kits to use in stitching in the military, especially during emergency cases. So, we can use this glue or skin glue. Ginuglue na lang yung wounds para hindi ka lang mag-heavy bleeding. Syempre, you need those military people or yung mga soldiers natin na susugatan sa gera after their skin were glued for first aid treatment lang naman ng kanilang wounds is i-glue yun para hindi sila mamatay ng bleeding, 'di ba? Heavy bleeding. So syempre, after nun, pupunta pa rin sila sa hospital to reopen the wound and stitch some organs if ever there is na nasira doon sa damage. O kasi 'di ba minsan hindi lang naman superficial yung sugat, minsan hanggang sa loob yun ng laman. So kailangan pa rin nila pumunta ng hospital to have it checked. Okay? So, clothing. So, yun na yun. I have said na sa clothing, how they incorporated it. Okay? So, sometimes din kasi, sa clothing, di ba, in other countries, they use the clothing na as biometrics or yung para pang time in. Okay? So, they do not use fingerprints na. Iba, di ba dito sa PSU, we use our ID to tap it, okay? To have a record na nakarating na tayo sa school or nakapasok tayo. Okay? But in the military or hindi lang military, in government agencies in the other countries, they use their clothing. So, pagpasok pa lang nila, there is a chip in their clothing, in their uniform, that were detected sa pagpasok pa lang, and then, that could act as their time in. Naka-time in na sila. Okay? Once they step in the facility, may madedetect na yung microchips sa kanilang uniform. And naka-time in na sila. Okay, so they do not need na to tap their IDs or to tap their fingers in the biometric system para malaman na or magkaroon sila ng time in. Okay? Or makapag-clock in sila sa trabaho nila. Okay, so that is how that work in clothing. Examples of how nanotechnology can be used in clothing. Number 1, okay, yung nauusong stain resistant. Diba? Daming damit ngayon stain resistant na. And then water repellent. Okay, water repellency. So, a lot of fabrics nowadays are water repellent. Lalo na yung mga ginagamit sa bag. Yung mga waterproof daw na bag. Diba? Yung mga yan. They have water repellents na. Yung mga wrinkle resistance. Yan. Yung hindi na kailangan plansyahin. Kikita nyo ba yun? Yung mga damit na nilulukot-lukot nila for advertisement. Kasi hindi malulukot. So, those are product of nanotechnology din in clothing. Thermal regulation. Alam niyo yung heat tech? Yung heat tech, sinusuot yun ng mga pumupunta sa ibang bansa, di ba? Yung mga nagpupunta sa malalamig na bansa. Ito yung kulay itim na parang tights and leotards. Pag sinuot nila, they were protected from heat or heat. Oh yes, heat then. But most especially sa cold during winter. Okay, so those are the parang tights siya. Pag sinusuot sa katawan, mahigpit yung fitting niya. Tapos kulay itim. Okay? So, another is UV protection. Ito yung mga nasa payong. Ganyan yung mga payong nyo. Yung mga payong na may lining na itim. That is for UV protection. Para yung UV rays ng araw, di ba, magbabounce off lang. Hindi siya ma-absorb, tapos hindi siya makakarating sa'yo. Di ba? The UV rays of the sun can cause cancers, can cause skin cancer. Okay? And then, antibacterial properties, lalo na yung mga ginagamit noong pandemic, diba? Yung ginagamit for clothing, lalo na mga frontliners natin, it has antibacterial properties. Naalala nyo yung nausong, copper mask. Ewan ko kung naalala niyo yung copper mask na nauso. Fashionable kasi siya tignan. Effective naman sana yun because bacteria hates copper. Kaso nga lang, may butas na malaki yung copper mask na yun. So, hindi siya advisable noon medically gamitin ng mga frontliners natin. Maganda tignan yung copper mask na yun but it's not advisable to be used in the medical field or in the medical profession. Okay, doon pa rin tayo sa surgical mask. And then, smart textile. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung sa uniform. Yung ginalagay na doon yung chip para pagpasok nila, hindi na sila kailangan mag-time in sa biometrics, hindi na kailangan mag-clock in, di ba? Kasi pagpasok pa lang ng building, madedetect na yung microchips sa uniforms nila. Okay, so may mga company in other countries that they use that. Okay, lalo na sa mga first world countries natin. Okay? Of course, intellectual property issues. Okay, so there are some problems when it comes to intellectual property issues kasi ang hirap i-trace kung sino yung nga ba ang may-ari ng patent. Ang hirap i-trace kung ipa-plagiarize ba yung patent nitong mga project na in nanotechnology natin because they were in nanoscales, di ba? How can you prove that you did not copy this entire patent, di ba? And you're manipulating matters, you're manipulating things in nanoscale. Okay, so ang hirap i-trace kung kanino nga ba nagsimula ang nanotechnology. Okay, intellectual property, number 1 is novelty and inventiveness. Okay, so how do you consider nga ba one project or one nanotechnology project to be novel? Kung kanino nga ba novelty ito? O kaya inventiveness. Okay, so syempre, this was very beautiful or very wonderful, very fascinating sect of this technology that we have today. Diba? Ang ganda lang ng nanotechnology because you are not using huge textiles na or huge technology, diba? Ang liit na lang. For example, ikaw, dati, you're using, alam niyo yung SIM card dati? Ang laki ng SIM card dati. Hanggang ngayon meron ng mga nano SIM. Di ba? Palit na ng paliit. Okay, so commercialization potential. Okay, so nakikita nyo ba yung mga lotion that contains nano beads? Di ba? Sino yan? Skin White. O, ayaw natin mag-name drop ng product pero let's name drop one because Skin White, isa yan sa mga nakikita kong may nano beads eh. O sa shampoo, Cream Silk, di ba? May nanotech daw sila. Try nyo tingnan yung mga pakete nila. They are claiming that they use nanotechnology. Bakit? Kasi it was fascinating in the ears. Di ba? Parang narinig mo, ay, may nanotechnology social. Ganda. Kasi, so, maganda siyang i-commercialize or gamitin to commercialize some products. Di ba? Complexity and interdisciplinary nature. Nanotechnology is very complex. Okay, so, balong complex? Kasi you're manipulating molecules. Di ba? Nanoscales. Ang liit. Di ba? So, very complex yan. And interdisciplinary because tignan nyo naman kung saan na siya nagagamit. Medicine, military, textiles, damit, technology, gadgets. Di ba? Kung saan na siya nagagamit. So, it was very interdisciplinary na rin in nature. Okay, number 4, nanoscale fabrication techniques. Okay? So those fabrication of textiles or technologies in nanoscale, it is very easy to be fabricate. Okay? So, ang dali lang, okay, if you are a scientist, if you are an engineer, di ba? You can fabricate another technology in a snap. Di ba? Ang dali na lang siyang paramihin ngayon or ang dali na siyang i-discover because it was existing na. Di ba? And international collaboration and standardization because not only one country uses this technology. Diba? Globally na to. Globally used na siya. And then, syempre, sabi ko nga, interdisciplinary, of course, it's safe to say na globally na used ang nanotechnology. Okay, and then enforcement challenges. Okay, so, our law enforcing, lalo na yung mga law enforcing authorities natin, they were very challenged when it comes to this kind of IP problems or IP issues. Diba? Okay, effect on labor. Okay, identify the following impacts of nanotechnology products on labor. Number 1, employment, creation, or destruction. It's either you create employment to engineers and scientists or you destroy employment to those normal beings or normal workers, normal employees na hindi naman sila scientist. 'Di ba? You do not require na huge amount of people to work in a factory. Bakit? Kasi you're working on a small technology na lang eh. 'Di ba? So, machinery, usually yung ginagamit. And then the brain and the mind of scientists and engineers. 'Di ba? So, ang daming nawawala ng trabaho. Okay, and then, ayun, ganun din, changes in sectoral distribution of the workforce. Okay, so those engineers, napupunta na sila sa mga ganitong factory works instead of normal employees. 'Di ba? So, yung workforce nagbabago. Hindi mo na kailangan ng normal na tao to be factory workers. Kailangan mo engineers. 'Di ba? Changes in global spatial distribution of the workforce and changes in qualifications for jobs. Qualifications. Okay? So, how do you qualify to be a factory worker of a nanotechnology? You need to be an engineer. You need to be a scientist, di ba? Okay? So, if you're going to look at the possibilities of having high qualifications during this kind of job or during hiring of this job, syempre hindi ka na ma-hire kung simpleng factory worker ka lang na galing ka sa traditional factory work. Di ba? Okay? So, another is the balance between citizen and governments. Okay? So, the nanotechnology can be expected to concentrate political power in the hands of government. Of course, if you're going to look at the agencies and the government, syempre sila yung mangunguna sa mga ganitong klase ng teknolohiya because sila yung mapera, di ba? Nasa kanila yung budget. Okay? Nanotechnology can be expected to be applied to further miniaturize and advanced surveillance technologies such as cameras. Di ba? Palit ng camera. Dati palakihan yan. Listening devices. Okay? Yung mga nakikita nyo ba? Yung mga sa mga palabas na mga dinidikit-dikit na lang sa ilalim ng lamesa. Tapos ano siya? Recorder na pala. Listening device na pala siya. Tracking devices. O, yung mga AirTag. Ganyan. 'Di ba? Ang lit-lit na kailangan ngayon para ma-track. 'Di ba? Your iPhones, your phones, Find My app, 'di ba? It was very easy to track a device nowadays. Okay? Face and pattern recognition systems. Yung mga yan sa phone. Okay? That is a product of nanotechnology, ha? Okay? Yung simpleng facial recognition lang, pag i-unlock mo yung phone, yung thumb mark mo na nababasa ng phone mo to unlock your phone. Okay? So, that is nanotechnology. The improvements in the field of electronics and computer memory that nanotechnology makes possible capacity of government to collect, store, and examine data. Dati, ang kailangan mo to store data ay isang buong container van. Okay? Paano nga ba yung store nun? Alam mo yung mga documents, mga paper documents of the government, kailangan nyo ni-store sa isang container van. Kailangan mong bumili ng container van every year for the document. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng itapon yung documents na yan, lalo sa hospitals. Okay? Kailangan itago mo yan for 10 years. Kailangan maitatapon mo pa lang sila after 10 years. Paano kung may biglang may kailangan ng document after 10 years? Wala na. Naitapon na. Na-destroy na. 'Di ba? So, thankfully, meron na tayong mga computer systems nowadays to store this kind of documents. Lalo sa gobyerno, PSA. 'Di ba? Paano na yung mga nasunog ang bahay noon, tapos yung birth certificate niya nasunog, 'di ba? Paano kung nasunog din yung munisipyo? Wala ka lang birth certificate, 'di ba? So, ang maganda, na-digitize na yung mga yan dati. So, lahat ng PSA that existed, meron na yan sa system ng PSA. PSA, birth certificate, 'di ba? Marriage certificate, oh. So, naka-store na yan ngayon sa database ng Philippines. Okay? Lahat ng mga yan, basta ni-register. Basta hindi bogus, di ba? Okay. Nanotechnology as a new hazard. How can we consider nanotechnology as a new hazard? Okay, so nanotechnology can be a hazard because it is in nanoscale. Ang liit. Gano'ng kalaki ang pores ng tao? Di ba? Gano'n kalaki na lang yung pores mo. Yung mucosa mo, yung mata mo, yung ilong mo, yung veins mo. 'Di ba? Ang liit ng nanotechnology, ng mga nanoscales, okay? Those fragments of nanotechnology, pag nakapasok yan sa katawan, that is foreign. 'Di ba? And as I've said last time, anything that is not recognizable by the body is considered as foreign. And it can cause infection. 'Di ba? So, in the environment din, ganyan, 'di ba? it can easily pollute the environment because it is in very small. Diba? So, nanoparticles can damage the lungs, number one. Okay, bakit? Ang liit ng nanoparticles, you can inhale it. And the air that you inhale directly comes or directly go towards the lungs. Okay? So, lung cancer. Diba? Number two, nanoparticles can get into the body through the skin, lungs, and digestive system. Imagine that. And then if you're unlucky enough, it will cross the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier is the covering or the blood or the network of vessels that is covering the brain. 'Di ba? Ano mangyayari? Meningitis, 'di ba? O pag natamaan na yung brain mo, wala na, coma, 'di ba? Okay, number three, the human body has developed a tolerance to most naturally occurring elements and molecules that it has contact with. For example, COVID. If your body has recognized COVID, magkakaroon ka ng immunity against COVID. Kasi that is a naturally occurring uh, mo- uh, biological matter, yung virus. Okay, your body can recognize a biological matter. How about the synthetic nanoparticles? The body can never recognize it. So it can cause infection to the body. Diba? And it is highly toxic. Okay. Nanotechnology and its benefits to the society. Number one, the benefits of the nanotechnology in the society is it helps to consider, improve, even revolutionize many technology industry sectors. Information technology, homeland security, medicine, transportation, energy, food safety, and environmental science, among many others. However, okay, so this nanotechnology is expensive. Bakit? Some of it contains gold, di ba? And gold costs about $80. Okay? Depende on its size pa, di ba? So the particles or the places that places the price of gold nanoparticles as $80,000 per gram. Mahal, di ba? Imagine nyo yun dati, di ba? Marami bumibili ng lumang SIM dati because it contains gold particles. Nanotechnology offers the potential for new and faster kinds of computers, okay, more efficient power sources, and life-saving medical treatments. For example of that is the device that we use in the heart for pumping. Anong tawag dyan? That is your pacemaker. Okay, yung picture na nandiyan sa screen, that is a pacemaker. Ginagamit yan do sa mga nahihirapan na magpump ang heart. Okay, I know someone that has infection dati sa heart. Alam niyo yung pag frequent kang nagkakaroon ng tonsillitis, the bacteria that is causing that is causing the inflammation in your tonsil can go down to your heart. So pag lagi ka nagkaka-tonsillitis, delikado 'yan. Kaya 'di ba, nababalitaan niyo ba yung ibang frequent na tonsillitis nila? Ang ginagawa ay tinatanggal na lang yung tonsillitis kasi madelikado 'yun. So I know someone na meron siya laging tonsillitis, tapos biglang bumaba yung infection sa heart niya. Okay, naging endocarditis. Okay, nagkaroon siya ng infection of the heart caused by the tonsillitis bacteria. Tapos, ang nangyari, nahirapan ng tumibok yung puso niya because of the infection. Ngayon, hindi ka naman pwedeng i-open heart surgery pag ganun. Kasi bakit? There is an infection in the heart, ongoing infection in the heart. Pag sinugatan pa yan, there is a chance na mag-iuwi na yan sa sepsis or yung poisoning na ng dugo because of the infection. So, ang nangyari sa kanya, hiniwa ng konti yung singit niya. Kasi sa singit natin, meron tayong major artery. Doon pinasok si pacemaker, minagnet siya, hanggang papunta sa heart niya. Okay? Sa major artery ng heart niya. Tapos doon na siya in-attach via computer na. Tapos after maka-attach sa wall ng heart, nag-pump na siya virtually. Nag-pump na siya. I mean, virtually manipulating it na sa laptop na hanggang sa kaya na ulit ng puso niyang mag-pump ng sarili niyang dugo. Or kaya niya nang mag-pump sa sarili niya. Hindi niya na kailangan yung pacemaker. Tapos after that, eventually, tinanggal din yung pacemaker. Ganun ulit. Dinatouch sa heart, minagnet, papunta ulit sa singit, gumawa ng konting hiwa sa singit, tas nilabas doon. Okay? So, bakit singit? Kasi yun nga yung pinakamalapit na malayo sa heart. Gets siya ba yung pinakamalapit na malayo? Pinakamalapit na pwedeng butasan or para ipasok yung pacemaker, pero yun yung pinakamalayo na pwedeng sugatan sa puso niya. Yun. Okay? Okay. So, yun yung pacemaker. So, nanotechnology in agriculture. So, potentially elongate the life of fruits and vegetables. We use nanotechnology din. O, saan pa? Saan pa natin ginagamit yan? Sa fertilizers. Di ba? Saan pa? Sa, yung mga artificial laboratories natin that grows GMOs, yan, they uses nanotechnology din. They use these small devices that can control light and act as the sun, as the artificial sun. Okay, so maraming gamit din sa agriculture ang nanotechnology. How about in the society? Okay, so in the society, mararamdaman natin yung impact niya sa mga gadgets natin. Imagine, yung napakalaking SIM card noon, di ba napakalaki, okay naman. Nung lumabas yung SIM card, di ba, maliit naman na siya. Pero, habang nagtagal, palit na siya ng paliit. Naging micro SIM. Ngayon, nano SIM na, te. Ngayon, eSIM na lang, wala na. Nag-disappear na, di ba? From micro SIM to nano SIM, tas nag-disappear na, eSIM na. Di ba? Okay, so impact ng nanotechnology, ramdam na ramdam natin yan, lalo na sa mga memory phones, sa memory ng phones. Di ba? Dati yung laki na ng 8 gig sa phone. Ngayon, when may 1 terabyte na. Di ba? Okay, ethical and legal implications. So, nanotechnology comes with some risk, specifically in regard to food, as products utilizing the nanotechnology haven't undergone heavy testing and are not currently subjected to labeling. Wala namang magle-label ng pagkain na may nanotechnology, nakakatakot yun, di ba? But there are foods that use nanotechnology or yung mga nano-preservatives to prolong the life of the food. So, siyempre, si FDA pa rin na magre-regulate ng mga yan. Okay, so let's end the discussion there. So, ito na yung last topic natin for next week, climate change. Grabe, ito yung ramdam na ramdam natin ngayon. Ito yung dahilan kung bakit online class. 'Di ba? Kasi because of climate change. So, next week, let's tackle the last chapter for STS. Grabe, no? Nasa last na tayo. Parang kailan nag-start tayo. So, yun lang. I would like you all guys to battle against this climate change by struggling to live day by day because ang init nga ng summer natin. But the only thing that we can do is to stay hydrated, go to a place that is well ventilated, tapos always check your blood pressure. Kasi 'di ba, nakakatakot ang heat stroke. Okay, so yun lang. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and see you next meeting for the last topic for this semester. Yun lang. Have a nice day and stay hydrated. Bye-bye.